Right, I'm going to get everyone's attention a minute. I did consider asking Michelle for a megaphone, but I forgot she doesn't need one. No, right, I'm going to go over a couple of little bits. We've got a few awards for everyone from the last 12 months that we've done. Firstly, it is a thank you for everybody that we've got here, and for these guys for letting us do this, right? This particular point for changing the spot, it gave us a bigger car park and everything else that we've got. But the added extras that we've got here, also beforehand, when we finished all this, have a nosy in at some of the stuff that they've got. They do some Christmas selections, some of the Christmas boxes. I know it's a bit early to say that word, but they do them personalised as well. It's not just what they do normally, because there's a couple of little bits in there where they have personalised labels. There's little bits that you can look at. They've sponsored a bit of this anyway, so everybody who gets an award, we get there, you go and have a word with one of those guys, you get pick a beer out of it as well, so we all get a prize, which is even better. Better than parking on the whammy, at least anyway. So with that bit, the 12-month in, there are a couple of awards that I'm going to go through, which were awards that I picked, not just from what you've got voted. And the first one that we actually started with was an award for the most attended, and that goes to me. I know, it's terrible. Literally, going over all the different pictures, we have a photo of every one of them, big group photos, and there's one rather large person, little bald spot on the top of his head, and he hates it, that sticks out amongst everybody. It's Tim West. 11 of the 12, mate. Come and get a trophy. It's your most runs one, matey. I think this person here is meant to be taking photos of them.
Sure.
Come here.
Reach. Give me some right, get the light right so it's not on the top of his head.
I can't see it. That's outrageous.
I can't see the top of your head, Tim. It's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done, Tim.
Well done. Thank you.
Right then, we have got a second one, which was one that I was throwing out. Something that I do try and keep in with everybody. These are all friendly runs. They're not how fast you can run, but some people can bloody run fast, can't they? And something I try to get is everybody mustering. When people are waiting, we get the people at the back, we get that. So we've got an award for the most miles mustered. And this was a little bit difficult to go through, actually going through and picking all the ones. Some people run here, some people don't. And the person who won it, they turn up, they're quite regular, but they're not actually that regular. And I'll give you a little bit of an hint on one of these. We all did a run, 6.2 miles. It was a little bit over because I've done a bit of it on mine anyway. Including their mustering, they'd ran just over 9 miles. That's a fair bit of mustering. Martin, you've got yourself one, mate. You don't stop. Come in. Most miles mustered. Look at that, matey. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's appreciated. Right then, now we go to your lot. Everybody else that was involved with this, you all voted particular people in. We got a really good response from us, actually. There was quite a lot, and there was a lot that were very, very close. This last week, and I might have mentioned with a few people in here, this last week I've had a couple where I've had 3 people in first position who've all got the same amount of votes. There was that many of them. This last week changed, and yesterday there was one person who did a little bit that changed one of my votes. Some of them were that close. So the first one that we were doing was a bit of a cheerleader award. And that cheerleader bit is basically someone, the happiest person, the one that keeps us all going, little bits like that. There were a couple of nominations, and I will do a few nominations, not the winner. So one in particular, we have Claire Tortoshell nominated. I tell you what, you're not one, you're nominations. You had a nomination. you had a couple of nominations. People love you. You wouldn't believe it. Tim, another decent nomination won for that.
I haven't won.
No, you've not won. People just thought you were a good guy. They all enjoyed it. There was another nomination which actually got a couple, and I will read this one out. Michelle was nominated, and this one did make me chuckle actually. Always willing to offer her experience and advice, and always offers support for others and will cheer them on whether they want it or not. That summed it up completely. But there was one that got more votes than all of them. Now the cheerleader award, it did get close, but there was one that got a few more. And we've got out, what it was is, she's one of the happiest and most supportive people here, never seems to stop smiling, and a pleasure to have with us. And the winner for that one is Rachel Hall. People love you, though. You're the cheerleader. Get a photo.
Oh God. Thank you, everybody.
I'm glad it started raining. We've moved out here because it was sunny. Bloody great that, isn't it? Right, award of recognition, this one. We did have a couple on here. I'll go over the nominations first. Pippa, you got a nomination a couple of times. You were nominated as recognition for helping Storm, actually, being one of the first people for that. That was noted by a few people that you jumped in there, right? And for some strange reason, again, Martin and Tim both nominated for their encouragement, the amount they muster and the amount that they cheer people on. Again, you were both mentioned. So we had a couple of them. Martin Hughes, one specific mention for that one. You were mentioned basically because you're quite a generally happy person. One point in particular which was a good standout was how much of an interest you take into what other people do, and asking when you have noticed the people that have started to drop in running. You've been one that's actually mentioned that to people. Andrea also mentioned for being so positive. Wendy Plant, you were mentioned quite a few times, all for pretty much the same kind of reasons. And it was the amount of love that was in there was actually quite a lot. It was quite an extensive one. Well, the winner of this one, right, we'll give a very queer quote on this. And it was, always runs with a smile on her face, and loves to chat, and is always very welcoming to the newbies. And the winner for the recognition by most people was Claire Tortoshell. You were voted on almost everything.
Oh God.
You were so close
That's
to
'cause I'm Robbie.
everything. Very well done. Very well done, sweetheart.
Thank you, darling. Come on, Michael, I'm getting my hair wet.
I know we're all getting wet. We had another award of recognition that came out of this one as well. It was kind of something that I wanted to do that I wanted to put one in. I refused to join in most of these, but there were a couple of times that it was mentioned, which helped me recognise I've definitely picked the right one for it. Now this is kind of a secret award one, right? And this one was a recognition among all of these for someone that has several times gone that little bit further than expected, regularly running off in front, clearing debris, making the path safer, staying behind, making sure people stay on the right path and that. And at one point standing in front of a rather dangerous fallen tree, stopping other people's getting impaled. Pete Morgan, well done, mate. That was from others and it was for me as well. Thank you for helping us. Right, we're coming close. We have to have the Shining Star Award on this, don't we? The Shining Star Award there wasn't really a lot in it, I'll be honest with you. It was about being happy and everything else. I'm going to do a couple of the nominations again, as we always do. One of the nominations for the Shining Star, which is kind of meant to be the funny ones, was Tim. Apparently people think you're funny. No, really. Right, so what we got, you've been mentioned a few times, you're very likeable and you love to have a good chuckle. That was mentioned quite a few times. Rachel was also mentioned. Right, your almost full-on mud faceplant was more memorable than Martin falling over. That one was mentioned purely because of that. I thought it was quite good. But there was one very clear winner. And there were quite a few, and I couldn't list all the reasons, so I'll just put it down into the simplest. It is the lovely, bubbly, slightly crazy, cow-loving, long-sleeve legging Pippa. Pippa, you are the Shining Star. Come on, you, come on. Well done, Pips, well done. We have two more, and we get these over very quickly. We have had votes for dogs. You wouldn't believe it, right? One in particular, we even got our own little medal for it and everything. There are prizes, I don't know where they've gone. Sadly, that dog isn't here. And I'm not going to lie, Storm got more votes than any of you people put together. Everybody loves Storm. I'm going to ask Michelle if she's still knocking about. Will you come and take this back for her? There is the little bit, and she even got her own little prezzies at the same time. We'll take that for you. Can't really shake your hand for that one or anything, but thank you very much. The last little bit, and it is very quick because I know we're getting cold, and this one is quite specific, and it is a thank you for your support for Best of British Beer. This one, if Chris wants to come and take it, or anybody who works here, we've got you a medal for helping us. You've allowed us to come from here, you've helped us, and you've offered. Thank you very much, mate. That is definitely from you lot. Thank you. Thank you guys as well, it's been brilliant. Mr. Tim.
Hello. There is one final award that you may not be aware of. Obviously, over the last 12 months, I think we've really enjoyed these months. For the majority of us, it's the highlight of the month when it comes to our running.
I enjoy it. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, we enjoy it more.
Mr. Tim.
And the reality of it is that none of this would have been possible had it not been for you thinking about the idea in the first place. And we all appreciate obviously the time and efforts that you put into these runs, planning them, and giving all of us that encouragement, and probably also bringing different running communities together. I've made a lot of new friends from different running clubs. I'm sure others have likewise. But I'm going to keep it short because it's pissing down. But just as a small token of our appreciation, we've got you a little something that we'd like to open. But thanks, Bob.
Oh, is this an all open and everything?
It is an all open and everything.
Yes. Just thank you. How good are you lot? Come on then. What are we looking at? Oh. Thank you very much, mate. What can I say at that?
So there's £100 vouchers.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And is this from everybody?
And that's from everybody.
Oh God, I'm not going with money. Guys, no, it really does.
Thank you.
Thanks for your support, guys. Thank you. No, it really enjoyed the exclusivity of this. I don't know about you guys, but when we turn up to different runs, something I always did with the runs is look for my run. Where are all the Trenton guys? Where this? Now I can't get away from people I run. It's everywhere I go, there's little bits of people and everywhere, and it has made a bit of more of a community. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. I look forward to the next 12 months.